Okay. Yeah, let's put politics aside. So we want to talk about something fun. Math. There we go. Yeah. The most beautiful math you've ever seen, I swear. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. That was bad. Yes. No. Just until we're done talking about the quiz. Okay. So two things I want to do today. Oh, she had asked me if she could drop something off real quick. Yes. So you'll be next. Okay, so two things I want to take care of today. One, I want to talk about any questions on the quiz that you may have. And then after that, I want to go ahead and wrap up complex fractions. Tomorrow, I'll go ahead and say that I've got a little activity planned. I want to go ahead and practice rational functions a little more, not just because of the adding and subtracting, the multiplying and dividing, but I'm also noticing some people are still a little confused by some of the factoring strategies. So I want to be able to take some time and practice those as well. And then on Friday, we'll go ahead and start the reciprocal parent. That'll carry into next week. You got yourself a 3-day weekend, and I won't see you until Tuesday. So that is our plan. Well, I'm talking about next week after we move into it. All right, so here is the quiz from yesterday. And let's see, your class average was 88.2. So overall, a really good job. But do we have any questions? You did get a good paper. You did a good paper. Okay. Number 3. Okay, let's take a look at it. Now, before we start with number 3, let's say we start with one that, is a lot simpler, like number 1. So we have 4 over 15v plus 2 over 15v. If you already have the same denominator, all you have to do is keep that denominator. And remember, it's the numerators that you're going to combine. So in this case, we get 6 over 15v. Now, I did have several people go ahead and leave this as an answer, so I think I had to take off 1 or 2 points because they didn't what? Simplify. Remember, once you get to this point where you're in one fraction and you've added or subtracted all you can with your numerators, only at this point do you start to look at simplifying. So in this case here, 6 and 15, they're both divisible by what? Okay, so 3 goes in there 2, 3 goes in there 5. So we're looking at a 2 over 5v. Now, the only difference between number 1 and number 3, we can't immediately combine them because they don't have a common denominator. Okay, so in this case here, they're not even, don't have any variables. I would just say the common denominator is 24. How did I get that? Yeah, 3 times 8. We're just looking for the first number that both 8 and 3 will evenly divide into. Well, here we got to go ahead and change it. Like 5x over 3, this is the denominator I have, but this is what I want. So I've got to multiply by 8 over 8. Okay. But what am I going to multiply the other one by? 3 over 3. Okay. We're multiplying by a version of 1 because we don't want to change the original value. We're simply changing the way it looks so that we can go ahead and perform this operation. So now, what is 8 times 5x? 40x over the 24 minus 7x times 3, 21x over the 24. See, now, once you've got the same denominator, we're going to keep that denominator, but we go ahead, in this case, we're going to subtract the numerators. So 40x minus 21x. So what is a 40 minus 21? 19. There you go. So 19x over 24, because 19 and 24 don't share anything besides 1. So that one was pretty easy. It's just like a normal everyday fraction, but that's the idea you would still want to use when looking at some of these bigger ones. Okay. Do we want to go ahead and try one of those? Try number 6. Okay, so number 6. Now we got 3 over x plus 1, and then we got x over x minus 1. Okay, now these are 2 completely different groups. Okay, so x plus 1, x minus 1, I can't factor them. So I'm going to take the first group, x plus 1. I'm going to move over to the next one. I'm only going to take something if I need it. So here, the common denominator would just be a product of the two, just like we did in problem number 3. We just don't have to multiply those together. Okay. So I've got 3 over x plus 1 plus x over x minus 1. So this is the denominator I have, x plus 1, but this is what I need it to be. What am I missing? Okay. So this one here, I got to multiply by x minus 1 over x minus 1. Even though it's a group I'm missing, it's still a version of 1. Same thing over here, but this one's going to be x plus 1 and x plus 1. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and distribute. So this would be 3x minus 3 over x minus 1, x plus 1, plus, then we'll distribute here, x squared plus x over x minus 1, x plus 1. Now, that's what we're striving towards the entire problem. We're getting the common denominator. Now I can bring them together. Okay. So this is going to be x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to have an x squared, but I can only combine a few terms. What's a 3x plus x? That would be plus 4x and then minus 3. Okay. All right. Now, only at this point, we got one fraction. Thank you so much. We've got the one fraction. We've combined all the like terms I can. Only now do we take a look at simplifying. And in order to do that, we have to factor. But what do you notice about this one? This one can't factor. Now, it's true. I mean, 1 plus 3 would give me a 4, but one of them would have to be negative, and there is no way to make that happen. So that's why this one, we can't simplify. That's my final answer. Excuse me. Did we want to work another one? I believe I do. Actually, do I need to write you a nurse pass? Sure. Write you a nurse pass. Okay. All right. And oh, those are the homeworks? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, was there anything else on the quiz? Like I said, overall, I think we're doing really well with the rational functions. I think that there's just a few little items that were kind of causing people maybe some hesitation or confusion yesterday. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that to the side. Let me go ahead and tell Ben to come in. Okay, and let's go ahead and wrap up complex fractions. So did anybody need another copy of these notes? Okay, complex fractions. Anybody else? Okay. So we've been looking at how to solve complex fractions. So basically, a complex fraction is one giant fraction where both the numerator and the denominator are both fractions. But it's not an actual complex fraction until it's just one fraction divided by another fraction. You see, yesterday we've gotten to the point where we might have to do a little bit of adding or subtracting to combine before we go ahead and work for, but we're still doing good. I'm going to take the first fraction in the numerator. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom fraction. Okay. So we are using elements of what we've looked at over the past couple of weeks. Now, when we finished yesterday, we got to number 11, and this is the answer that you should have gotten. N minus 4 divided by 15. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see if that's what we can actually get. Now, before we do anything, you'll notice we got a single fraction up top, but we do not have a single fraction down below. So that's what I got to start with. So 20 over n minus 4. And then we're going to subtract 5 over. So let me go ahead and factor that 4n minus 16. That'll be a 4 times n minus 4. All right, so we've been doing this for over a week now. Would everybody agree that the common denominator would have to be 4 times n minus 4? Okay, so this would have to be my common denominator, 4 times n minus 4. So that means this second fraction, it is good to go, but this first one, I got to multiply it by 4 over 4. Okay. So somebody help me out. What is 4 times 20? So we got 80 over 4 times n minus 4 minus 5 over 4 times n minus 4. I'm sorry? Mm-hmm. I mean, you could, but we went ahead and factored it so that we could ensure we're getting the right common denominator. And also, we're going to be able to simplify, so we're just going to leave it factored. We're not going to multiply it back together. Okay. Everybody's good so far? All right. So here's my big division symbol. So would everybody agree that down below, I should have 75 over 4 times n minus 4? Okay. Where did that 75 come from? 80 minus 5 when I combined those two fractions. Okay. Good, good, good. And then all the while, we've got this 5/4 waiting up here for us to do something. Okay. So now that I've got one single fraction over one single fraction, now I can go ahead and multiply by the what? Reciprocal. So this is going to be 5 over 4 times, so this will now be 4 times n minus 4 over, okay, 75. And let's see, the 4's can cancel. What else will cancel? Okay, 5 goes into itself once, into 75 15 times. N minus 4 over 15. How many people had the opportunity to try that? Okay, a few folks. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. Let's try number 12. Okay. So let's see. Do I have a single fraction up top? Yes. So that's good. Now, even though the denominator is a binomial, that's okay. It's still one fraction. Do I have one fraction down below? No. So I need to go ahead, just like we did with number 11, I need to combine these before I can look at the fraction as a whole. Okay. So let's see here. I got 1, and I want to subtract w over w plus 2. Well, this one actually brings up, you know, something that you've already seen with numerical fractions. Like if I said I wanted to take a 1 and I wanted to subtract 5/9. Okay. Yeah, well, couldn't you say this is 1 over 1? Because that's still 1, right? Okay. A little far ahead. Okay. But we need a denominator of what? 9. So wouldn't it be 9 over 9 minus 5 over 9? Because 9 over 9 is still 1, right? Okay. So even though we have a binomial here, we're still going to do the same thing. So couldn't I say this is w plus 2 over w plus 2 minus w over w plus 2? Because isn't that still 1 minus w over w plus 2? Everybody agree? Rowdy, what do you think? You agree? All right. Okay. So if I were to go ahead and combine these, so right now I've got w over w plus 2. That's the numerator. Over. If I go ahead and pull these together, we've got the common denominator of w plus 2. But what's w plus 2 minus w? So all I'd have here is 2. See, now I've got a single fraction over a single fraction. I'm ready to reciprocal. Yes? No, because we're not subtracting it. The only thing we have in front of this is a plus. So that negative would only distribute to that one numerator. Okay. So let's see what we got here. So this is W over W plus 2 times, then we're going to flip it, W plus 2 over 2. Does anything cancel? W plus 2's. So the only answer is W over 2. Cool. Let's put a W in the chat for the win. Can we say that? We don't say that? No? No cap, really? All right. Let's go ahead and try another one of these. All right. So let's see. We're out of here at 4 after. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So how about this? Let's try 13. And I know what you're thinking, Mr. West. I'm ready to try one on my own. Yeah, I hear a lot of yays out there. Okay. All right. And I'll even go one better. Okay. So for number 13, okay, I'm going to start half of it with you because there's no single fraction up top. There's no single fraction down below. So you have to combine both before you can even multiply by the reciprocal. Okay. So you choose one, either the numerator or denominator. I will help you combine that. And then I'll have you carry it the rest of the way. How many people want the top? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many people want the bottom? It's not okay, 1. Okay, so we're going with the top. So 1 over, we have a squared minus 1 over b squared. Can anybody tell me, what do you believe the common denominator is? A squared, b squared. There we go. A squared, b squared. So how in the world am I going to take care of that first fraction? You mean for the final answer? Oh, well, let's see if that happens. So what am I going to do for this first one? How can I make sure that a squared is an a squared b squared? Okay. Now I'm going to have to multiply the bottom by b squared, but that means I got to multiply the top by the same thing. Because remember, I've got to multiply by 1. That's not going to change the value, right? Okay. Come on, if you'll put that over by the flash. So what am I doing for the other one? Yeah, so I'm going to multiply it by a squared over a squared. Okay. So let's see here. Do you want me to keep these separate for one more step, or can we go ahead and combine them? Everybody's okay with that? Okay. So down below, I'm going to have my a squared, b squared times 1 minus 1 times a squared. What would I have? So it'd be b squared minus a squared. Now you'll notice for this numerator right here, can that numerator do anything? Can it factor? That's a difference of squares. Okay. So I've got the a squared, b squared down below. Okay. 1 over a. Okay. So let's go ahead and break this apart into the conjugates. So remember, 1's a plus, 1's a minus. What's the square root of b squared? So it'd be b and b. And the square root of a squared? A and a. Remember, order is very important with the difference of squares. Okay. So this first numerator, it is ready to go. Now, what I want you to do is the same thing for this denominator. Okay, so you're going to take 1 over b, you're going to add 1 over a, you're going to combine those, then you're going to put it there, then you can go ahead and simplify the complex fraction. Okay. And on this one, I will even go one further. This is what you should be getting as a final answer. B minus A divided by AB. That should be your final answer. Oh, and right now we're just continuing working on complex fractions. Did you need another copy of the notes? There you go. No. Good. Okay. Everybody ready, or we need another few seconds? Ready? So for your denominator, you should be getting A plus B over AB. That's what we're getting? Okay. Does anybody want me to run through and show how we got that? We're good to go? Okay. So now we got one fraction divided by another fraction. We are ready to take the reciprocal. So right now we have B plus A times B minus A over the A squared B squared times, now we're going to flip it. So this is AB over A plus B. Okay. What can I cancel? Okay, so even though the order is mixed up, B plus A is A plus B. And then 1A cancels with 1A, 1B cancels with 1B, so that all that's left is B minus A over AB. Okay. How many people were able to get to that answer? Good. Is there anything I can do to help? Okay, are they starting to come a little easier? Yes, okay. Are there any questions? Okay, so I'll tell you what, you folks have done a great job today. You know, we had a big quiz yesterday. If we go ahead and do one more problem, but I have people come up and show me, we're done. All right, so here's the thing. Let's work number 16. So we're going to work number 16. So here's why I'm going to need 3 people. Okay. So I want one person. You'll notice this is just like the one we did. We don't have a single fraction in the numerator. We don't have a single fraction in the denominator. So I'm going to want somebody to come up, combine those two numerators. Okay. Then I'm going to want a second person to come up, combine those denominators. Then once we have the single complex fraction, then I want somebody to take it home. Okay. Ava, you want to do the first one? Okay. So I'll even go ahead and write this out for you. A squared over A plus 3 plus A squared over, I'll factor it for you, 5 times A plus 3. Okay, so right now we are only focusing on the numerator. Okay. You know, in my experience, when somebody volunteers another person, they're secretly wanting to go. Are you sure? So we only have to multiply that one by 5 over 5.
So 5a squared over 5, hello? That's 5. A squared over 5 times a plus 3, and that equal, this will stay the same, 6a squared? Wait.
5a squared plus a squared. Okay, so we're a third of the way there. We got the numerator. Sorry. Okay, so let me go ahead and write this. So we've got 6a squared over 5 times a plus 3. Okay, we're going to divide this by. Now, I need somebody to come on up. Hobby, okay. So now we want to simplify the denominator. Okay, so we have a over a plus 3, and we're going to add 1 over 5. Okay, so Javi's going to help us out on this one. Okay, so our common denominator you're close. If you're going to multiply, no, I'm sorry, Pop. There's one thing if you're multiplying through, because you had 3 times 5, right? But you would also have to multiply what? So it wouldn't be a plus 15, it would be 5a plus 15. There we go. Okay. So now on this one, we're going to have to change both of them. Okay. So how can I make this 5a plus 15? We'll multiply by 5 over 5. So what about the 1/5? Oh, we're good. We're good. I can tell that's a 5. So we got the 5. There we go. So we're only missing the a plus 3 there. Okay. So that one will give you 5a over 5a plus 15 plus a plus 3 over 5a plus 15. Okay. And now all we got to do is combine these. So it'd be 6a plus 3 over 5a plus 15. Fantastic. Okay. Good. Yes, sir. We're going to find out. Okay. So we now have the bottom is 6a plus 3 over 5a plus 15. Okay. So this is where we're at. So is everybody okay so far? Okay. Now, out of the 4 parts, okay, let me ask you this question, Ridley. Out of the 4 parts, how many still need to be factored? Okay, so the numerator on the bottom and the denominator, so 2 parts total. Sure.
So what's the greatest common factor of this 6a plus 3? Yeah. Okay. So 3 2a plus 1.
Plus 1, good.
And then that would be over what's the greatest common factor of 5a plus 3? Which is 5.
Well, maybe he meant the 3 would be left. There we go.
Okay, so can you replace that with?
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and replace these because we factored them.
Yeah.
So now, there we go. Smartboard.
that means we have 6a squared over 5a plus 3. And then you multiply it, and then you flip it, so it's 5a plus
That'll work. That'll work.
3 over 3 2a. So what should we cross out? Yeah, that's right. Wait, yeah. So it's 2. That's a 1. What else? Yep. Okay, so that leaves 2a squared, correct? You have 2a squared over 2a plus 1, right? No, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That is it. That's the right answer. Okay. Starvation, is that what you got? Hey.
Roll.
There we go.
This is starvation. Yeah, it is.
How are we doing?
Sit there.
Is this making more sense? Does this also help with the adding and subtracting? Okay. All right. Good. All right. I'm a man of my word. I said man of my